Good afternoon, accelerators. It's nice to see you today. There's a couple weeks off with these Thursday afternoon tune-ups. I am Diane Spadola, and this is episode number 97. This video series is brought to you by Accelerate Your Success, the business booster program for artists and entertainers. If you are not a member of my free online classroom, please go ahead over to Facebook and join the group known by the same name, Accelerate Your Success. There's all kinds of free downloads and goodies and a tremendous resource list that you can find in the files section once you become a member. I want you to think of this video series as your information and inspirational pit stop before the race, which is your weekend. So today what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about one of my, I wouldn't call it a New Year's resolution. It's actually what I'm planning to do to make my life happier in the new year. So let me see if I can share my screen. And then I'm going to just, so I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So here we are at the Thursday afternoon tune-up. What I want to do is I want to declare 2021 as the year for being connected, maybe more connected if you've been connected in the past. Because I'll be honest, by the time we went into the holidays, I wasn't feeling substantially better in terms of a positive mindset compared to where I was in the height of the lockdown. Our holidays were different this year. We didn't have a chance to celebrate, be with family, engage with the neighbors, or attend those holiday parties that you might have known and were used to in your business, your company, your neighborhood. So what I'm going to do is I have decided that 2021 is going to be the time when I'm going to get more connected. And these are the helpful hints that I wrote down for anybody else that's interested in becoming more connected in the new year. First of all, you need to be flexible, okay? Everybody's work schedule's really messed up right now. So what would be the typical time for folks to reach out with a friendly phone call might be completely different than what time you designate for your friendly phone calls. Be flexible to people in other time zones because they may have kids at home, they may have a spouse working beside them, and they may not be able to find a quiet time to talk to you other than the time that the phone is ringing for you. Listen closely. Obviously, being an active listener is one of the best ways to establish a relationship with another human being. And I'm talking about listening closely when the person is talking. All right, not when they're sending you an email or a text message, but when you actually have them on the phone or on a Zoom call, or maybe it's FaceTime, whatever software you plan to use, you want to make sure that you're listening carefully, even if it's only for a few minutes. At the point at which you get distracted and cannot pay any attention anymore, it's time to say goodbye. I suggest being proactive. I used to talk to my friends about the fact that there are people that are callers and there are people who like to be called. Sometimes the be called person never reaches out. I'm personally a caller, okay? But there have been times that I've been disappointed that my friends, my family, my colleagues do not ever initiate the call. Well, in 2021, I'm putting those judgment calls aside and I am going to be the caller. And who knows, maybe what I put out into the universe will come back to me. But even if it doesn't, you can expect to get a phone call or a suggestion for a Zoom from me. My specific day for friends and family is going to be Friday. And I've established a new thing this year called Phone a Friend Friday. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a random look through my contact list and give somebody a call. I may send you a little note, so be looking on your email or your text, because when it's your turn to be called on Friday, I hope you're available to answer. Next, you want to engage in all different channels. You know, there are people that are on email 24/7. There are people that are on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn. There are people that only respond to text messages from people that they know. And there are some people that never pick up the phone. Okay? You have to find the way that your connection is going to be most likely to respond and use that method, even if it means stepping a little bit out of your comfort zone. And then lastly, very difficult in the current time being, but you want to stay positive. Nobody wants to hear about your troubles. They've all got troubles of their own. Nobody wants to hear how you lost your job in the pandemic. They probably lost their job too. Nobody wants to hear how it's tough to have a spouse working in your home with you, your kids studying beside you, inability to go take advantage of theater or arts or music. Instead, why not share some of the positive things that you're doing to keep sane during this pandemic? I found a new thing on my Fitbit, which is actually mindset exercises. I tried the first one out today, and yes, it made me feel better. It actually put a sort of spring in my step when I jumped out of bed. So that's my little tip to you. You need to find what works for you, and that's what you need to share when you talk to your friends. So let's all agree to make 2021 the year of connection, no matter how far apart we really are. So let's talk a little bit about how we're going to do that. My suggestions, I mean, obviously everybody has their own method of keeping track of their contacts, whether it's an Excel database, whether it's the old-fashioned Rolodex, whether it's a customer manager like Manager Sal or Contactually or Outlook. You can find a way to keep track of your contacts. If you're not keeping track of them, you should be, because that's one of the premier things that you need to do in business in order to establish relationships in the first place. But somebody suggested to me the other day that you could take all those business cards that you don't use anymore, throw them into a salad bowl, mix them all up together, and every day pull out a name. And that name is who you get in touch with. You can also schedule time on your calendar. That time should say something like relationship, building connection. And that should be a scheduled time without distractions for you to reach out to the people that you know. Because after all, if you don't take the time to do the things that are important, they will never get done. Third, Excel spreadsheets, put in those dates of when you actually reached out to the person last. You'd be amazed. I found out yesterday that the computer that I'm working on, which I've always described as my new MacBook, I bought it in 2015, which only goes to show you how fast the years go by as you get older. And last but not least, if you have an interest in learning how to use Manager Sal to keep track of your contacts, your contracts, your booking dates, your subcontractors, or anything else, get in touch with me. I can hook you up. It's $100 a year, and there's a 60-day free trial. So, finishing up, let's think about what are the things that you're going to say to these new people that you're contacting, who of course are old friends, so it's not like they're complete strangers. But they might be strange to you now because you haven't been in touch with them since the pandemic started, or maybe even before that. My suggestion is a simple "how are you?" Everybody has lots to say being asked that question. You could ask about their holidays. You could ask them if they are experiencing back to school with their kids. You could ask them if they just came back from vacation. You can do all the things that you would normally do if you were not in a pandemic, with the exception of shaking their hand or doing other sorts of kind of icky things, okay? So don't get too close when you're trying to get connected. You can ask them what's new. You can tell them that you're just checking in and that this is part of your New Year's resolution to get connected with some of the people that you've been out of touch with. You can also ask them things like, what are you working on? And a really important business connection is, what are their goals for 2021? Indubitably, this will get you into a conversation that allows you to share some of your goals also. And who knows, you might be able to define a way the two of you can work together. If you are not a member of my free online classroom, this is the link. It's under Facebook groups, Accelerate Your Success. We'd love to have you join us. We are this close to reaching a significant milestone in our membership. And who knows, that lucky winner is going to end up with a significant prize. And then lastly, if you're interested in more coaching attention, more in-depth training, some fun contests, and access to every webinar that I have ever given as a business and marketing coach, you might want to be interested in joining the driver's seat. For one easy monthly payment, you can get access to everything I've ever done and some personal one-on-one coaching with me. So that's all I have for you today, folks. I am going to sign off, and let me tell you, look for that phone call from me or the text message that said I'm going to be calling. I look forward to talking with you soon.